Hello everyone, in this video we are going to cover the current affairs. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GKToday Academy app. For regular updates, please join our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. Now we have started a new channel, Civils Academy. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. Now let's start. So the first question is, which social media platform has launched a search prompt named "There is help to prevent suicide"? So this was done by Twitter. Present CEO of Twitter is Jack Dorsey. Now this There is Help initiative was started on the occasion of World Suicide Prevention Day, and this was on 10th of September. The theme was working together to prevent suicide. Now 10th of September was World Suicide Prevention Day, while 12th of September was World First Aid Day. Next question is, India has agreed on a 5-point plan with which neighboring country to resolve the border issues? So this country is China. So India and China have recently agreed on 5 points regarding the situation on LAC. What is LAC? It is line of actual control. It is important to note that our Minister of External Affairs met his Chinese counterpart during SCO summit. What is SCO? It is Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the most recent summit of SCO held in Moscow. Our Minister of External Affairs is Mr. S. Jaishankar and his Chinese counterpart is Wang Yi. Now, the headquarters of SCO is in Beijing. India and Pakistan became the full-fledged member of SCO after Astana summit. Now, this Moscow is in Russia. Recently, Russia was also in news because of Caucasus exercise, as India decided to withdraw from this exercise. This was to be organized by Russia. Russia was also in news as India and Russia signed an agreement on the manufacturing of AK-203 rifles. Next question is, which country is holding a naval exercise named Zolfaghar 99 in the Sea of Oman? So it is Iran, and it is a naval exercise by Iran. Now, Iran was also in news because of Khuzestan province, as recently Iran discovered new oil fields in this Khuzestan province. Iran was also in news as recently it launched its new currency, and the name of this new currency is Toman. Previous currency was Rial. The capital of Iran is Tehran. Iran was also in news because of JCPOA. It is Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. It is informally known as Iran Nuclear Deal. Iran was also in news because of Noor. Noor is the first military satellite by Iran. Iran was also in news because of Chahabar. So it is a port. Next question is, which Indian city is to be the host of Asia's largest aero show, Aero India 21? So this is going to be in Bengaluru. Bengaluru is in Karnataka. So this is going to be in February next year. Now, Bengaluru is in Karnataka, and recently Karnataka was in news because Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yedurappa inaugurated Veer Savarkar flyover in Bengaluru. Apart from that, Karnataka was also in news as it celebrated Mask Day on 18th of June. Karnataka was also in news as recently Karnataka Chief Minister flagged off first roll-on, roll-off service, and this was started from Nelamangala in Karnataka to Bale. Next question is, which Union Ministry launched Climate Smart Cities Assessment Framework? So this was launched by MOHUA, that is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So the idea behind this initiative is to have a plan for the cities to combat climate change. In addition to that, recently the Streets for People Challenge was also launched. What is the objective of this challenge? Objective is to ensure a pedestrian friendly program. That means our streets should be pedestrian friendly. This is also an initiative of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Now this ministry was also in news because of PM Swanidhi scheme, and the scheme is to be implemented by SIDBI. As per recent information, Madhya Pradesh is the top performing state in the implementation of this PM Swanidhi scheme. Recently, Madhya Pradesh was also in news as it launched Gandagi Mukt Bharat. So this was a campaign. Idea is to spread awareness about the clean India. Next question is, as per the recent WHO report, countdown to 2023, which disease is estimated to cause around 5 lakh deaths per year? So as per this report, approximately 5 lakhs people die because of coronary heart disease. So that is why WHO focus on this. And recently WHO released this Countdown to 2023. This is a WHO report on global trans fat elimination. It is important to note that WHO had launched Replace initiative to eliminate trans fat in the foods by 2023. So this report is in this context. Now, similarly, FSSAI launched a campaign in our country for the elimination of trans fat in the food supply, and the name of this campaign by FSSAI is Heart Attack Rewind. Next question is, which state has come out with a new heritage tourism policy? So this is a policy of state government of Gujarat. So idea is to properly utilize the heritage structures to promote tourism. Now, Gujarat was also in news as recently Gujarat launched Mukhyamantri Kisan Sahay Yojana. Gujarat was also in news as recently FSSAI, that is Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, released second State Food Safety Index. And as per this index, Gujarat is the top performer in the large states category. Gujarat is followed by Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra. In the smaller states category, Goa is the top performer. Now this FSSAI is under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Present Health Minister is Dr. Harshvardhan. Recently, Dr. Harshvardhan was in news as he became the chairperson of Executive Board of WHO. What is WHO? It is World Health Organization. Recently, WHO was in news because of COVAX facility. So this COVAX is a collaboration between three major organizations: WHO, CEPI and Gavi. Next question is, a fish broad bank at Sitamarhi in Bihar is to be established with the financial assistance under which scheme? So it is related to fish. So obviously scheme is going to be related to fish, and it is Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. So it is for the development of fisheries sector. Now recently it was announced that a fish brood bank is to be established at Sitamarhi in Bihar. It is important to note that recently Prime Minister digitally launched Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. Apart from that, he also launched E-Gopal app. So the nodal authority for the implementation of this Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana is Department of Fisheries. Next question is, which is the first Indian company to surpass $200 billion in the market capitalization mark? So this company is RIL, that is Reliance Industries Limited, and it became the first Indian company to surpass this $200 billion in market capitalization. So as of now, its market capitalization is approximately 15.3 trillion, which is approximately 208 billion. Now RIL is followed by TCS, that is Tata Consultancy Services. It is important to note that recently RIL became the 40th most valued global firm. That means globally it is on 40th position. Now recently Reliance Foundation was also in news, and recently Reliance Foundation launched WGDP Women Connect Challenge. So this challenge was launched with the help of USAID. What is USAID? USAID stands for US Agency for International Development. Now this USAID was also in news because of Maitri initiative. USAID was also in news because of RAISE initiative, and this RAISE initiative is a collaboration between USAID and EESL. Next question is, where is the headquarters of National Fertilizers Limited? So the headquarters is in Noida, and it is a Mini Ratna PSU. It is under Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. Now Noida is in Uttar Pradesh. Recently Uttar Pradesh was in news as the state government launched NRI portal. It was also in news as it collaborated with Israel for the water crisis management in the Bundelkhand region. Recently, Israel was in news because of Operation Breathing Space. So Israel and India are collaborating for this project, Operation Breathing Space, and the idea is to tackle the issue of coronavirus together. Recently, Israel was also in news as USA, Israel, and India are going to collaborate for the 5G sector. Recently, UK proposed a group of 10 democratic countries, that is D10 group, to create an alternative supply of 5G technologies so that we do not have to be dependent on China. Apart from that, recently, to reduce the dependency and dominance of China, SCRI was in news. What is SCRI? It is Supply Chain Resilience Initiative. So it is a joint initiative of India, Japan and Australia. Next question is, ranking of states on support to startup ecosystems is released by which ministry? So it is a ranking which has been released by Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and this has been released by DIPP. What is DIPP? It is Department for Promotion of Industry and International Trade, and this department is under this Commerce Ministry. Now, this ranking was released on the basis of 7 reform areas and 30 action points. So these facts are important because in some exams they may ask you that this index or this ranking was based on how many parameters. So they were there. So total 7 broad reform areas were the base for this report, and total 30 action points were there. Now, it is important to note that 22 states and 3 union territories participated in this ranking, and this time Kerala and Karnataka are the top performers. Next question is, who is the head of empowered group of ministers constituted by the government to oversee the corporatization of Ordnance Factory Board? So this empowered group has been constituted under the chairmanship of our Defense Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh. This OFB is under DDP. What is DDP? It is Department of Defense Production, and this DDP is under Ministry of Defense. So this empowered group of ministers has been constituted to oversee and to guide the entire process of corporatization. What does that mean? It means this OFB will be converted into one or more 100% government-owned corporate entities. So these were the most important questions of today's video. Now we are going to cover important news. Feel free to skip it if you do not like the format, but make sure that you cover these events from some other shows. Now, first news is Global Economic Freedom Index. So as per this index, India is on 105th position. It is important to note that India has fallen from its previous rank, and it has fallen 26 places this year. And this index has been topped by Hong Kong. Second is Ecological Threat Register. So this Ecological Threat Register has been released by IEP. What is IEP? It is Institute for Economics and Peace, and it is a think tank, and the headquarters is in Sydney. It is in Australia. It also released, that means this think tank Institute for Economics and Peace also released Global Terrorism Index, and it also released the Global Peace Index. Next is CHG meeting of SCO. SCO is Shanghai Cooperation Organization. What is CHG? It is Council of Heads of Government. So India is going to be the host of this Council of Heads of Government of SCO members, and this summit is going to be in November in New Delhi. SCO stands for Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Next is Planting Master Potato Plus. So this is a machine which has been launched by Mahindra, and this is a potato planting machine. Next is Jane Fraser. So recently Jane Fraser became the first woman CEO of Citigroup. Next is Heritage Tourism Policy. So we already covered this. It was released by Gujarat. Next is Subhas Kamath. So recently Subhas Kamath has been elected as the chairperson of ASCI. What is ASCI? It is Advertising Standards Council of India. Next is Verified Calls. So this is an initiative of Google to verify the identity of callers. This will help in phone frauds. Next is Zvezda. So this is a Russian firm, and recently it was in news because this firm, that means this company, is making the shoots for India's Gaganyaan mission. Next is Saint Botanica. So recently Saint Botanica appointed Vani Kapoor as the brand ambassador. Next is Hubli Station. So this Hubli Station in Karnataka will now be renamed after Sri Siddharudha Swamiji. So now this Hubli Station in Karnataka will be renamed after Sri Siddharudha Swamiji Station. Next is Preeti Sudan. So former Health Secretary Preeti Sudan has been now appointed as the panelist in WHO, that is World Health Organization. Next is National Eye Donation Fortnight. So recently Tamil Nadu Chief Minister E.K. Palaniswamy announced that he is going to donate his eyes, and this was announced during this event of National Eye Donation Fortnight. This event was organized by the state government of Tamil Nadu. Next is Poonam Khatri. So recently Poonam Khatri, who is Indian police officer, she was in news as she became the Wushu world champion. It is important to note that her previous medal was silver medal, which was later upgraded to gold medal, and that is why she became the Wushu world champion. Next is central bank digital currencies. So recently MasterCard launched this new initiative, and this is a virtual testing platform for the central banks to test the digital currencies. Next is Golden Temple. So recently Golden Temple was in news as MHA, that is Ministry of Home Affairs, approved that Golden Temple can now receive foreign funding, and for this purpose it was approved that it can register itself under FCRA and get the foreign funding. What is FCRA? It is Foreign Contribution Regulation Act of 2010. Now please read about FCRA and how it is different from FEMA. Now coming back to Golden Temple. So Golden Temple is also known as Sri Harmandir Sahib. So these were the most important questions. So first homework is FCRA versus FEMA. Second homework is please read about Operation Twist. And third homework is please read about Living Planet Report. That was all for the day. Thank you.